Hey guys, Ranny here. Today we're going to take a break from the usual content because I want to make a video that younger me would have really appreciated. So let's consider this the first entry in my Hormone Diary. Day -1. I'm going to talk about my experience as a transhuman, but specifically a trans person from the South that didn't get a lot of support. It has been really awesome watching you younger folks be able to just fully embrace yourselves and who you are without all of this baggage that some of us other folks have. And I don't mean to say that you don't have your own baggage about being trans, but you know, in general, things are a lot more accepting now. I sometimes think I'm from kind of that last little batch where being queer wasn't okay. You know, I think that really what I'm wanting to talk about today is the fact that I'm going back on hormone replacement therapy. I have my appointment tomorrow, which means if everything goes well, no shortages when I go to the pharmacy, hey, maybe Monday, I can start giving myself shots again, and start and restart the transitioning process. You see, I knew from the time I was really young that I was more of a girl than a boy. And so I think when I was in middle school, I heard that tofu was really high in estrogen. So I started eating all the tofu I could to try and just pump the brakes on puberty, you know? I can't be the only person that's done that. You know, for me, this is restarting hormones. I've been off and on with prescriptions for the last 12 years now. And I can say that the adjustment process tends to be kind of brutal, in all honesty. So I'm not looking forward to that, but especially now that I'm in my 30s, it kind of feels like it's now or never if I want to be able to pass. And, you know, I know, especially with you folks just a couple years younger than me, passing isn't such a priority. I think for who I am, I do I need to pass, and not passing has contributed significantly over the years to this kind of depressive cycle that I go through. Actually, the whole reason I moved from where I was in the South before I came to Colorado was because I wanted to go back into the closet before I was actually passing. Thankfully, unexpectedly, it's so much more welcoming here in Colorado that was kind of impossible, because I've just got one of those faces where strangers just ask me what my pronouns are, and there's no non-awkward way to have the song and dance of, but I want to go back in the closet. So I've kind of just made my peace with the fact that whether I want it or not, I am visibly out. And I think as I kind of carve my own niche here with Bonsai, I want to own the fact that I am a trans woman, a queer person in what is very much a straight male dominated hobby. I'm pretty lucky, and here in Denver we do have a local chapter of the Purple Pot Society, a Women in Bonsai's club, and they, you know, kind of the first time I went out into the bonsai community, somebody noticed me and was like, hey, you should come check us out. And I'm just so grateful for that, because, you know, coming from the South, I think that if I'm walking into a room with a bunch of older men, I've got this huge target on my back. And that wasn't my experience with the bonsai community, which I am just so grateful for. But, you know, we're not really discussing bonsai today. For anybody that's considering going on hormones or isn't sure what to expect, you know, I'm not going to tell you that it's an easy process. You know, with the shots, I find it psychologically difficult to administer those. But the trade-off of the shots tend to be more effective versus taking the pills. So obviously, especially being older, I'm gonna go for those shots to try and get that good estrogen into my system, let it do what it can at this late stage. But, you know, it also feels kind of hopeless, and like I missed my chance to have effective hormone replacement therapy. I mentioned that I had started and stopped HRT a couple times now, and, you know, I haven't been stopping because I want to, right? It's very much been life gets in the way, no jobs have insurance, and when it comes down to it, I've got to pay my bills before I can pay for those pills, and that's just the way it goes. And in life, we've got to make those tough decisions sometimes. But it's been a real emotional roller coaster. I think the body is not meant to have these fluctuating cycles from the male hormones to the female hormones, and I kind of feel like this last time I stopped HRT, I got a huge dose of a lot of those male hormones. I've kind of been depriving myself over the years. Still have my itty bitty titties, but not much past that, and it's been defeating, and it actually caused a bit of like a depressive feedback loop where, you know, I'm aware my facial hair's growing in faster and needing more and more maintenance, but then it's easier to just avoid the mirror. I'm sure we've all been there, right? But if I can stick with it, you can. Guys, like, if you think that going on hormone replacement would help your gender expression, would help you feel more like yourself in your body, you should do it. And if life gets in the way, make your peace with it. It is hard stopping. I'm not going to say it's not. It's like you've got to detox from the hormones, and it's very emotionally draining. But the chance to pick up the pieces and start again exists. Now, you probably don't want to stop and start as many times as I have. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I do have lots of nervous energy about my appointment tomorrow. You know, something that I think perfectly speaks to the trans experience, or at least my trans experience, is that I was supposed to have this appointment several weeks ago, and the day before they said, hey, unfortunately we got to reschedule. We can squeeze you in at the end of August, or we can get you in this month, July. at a location 2 hours away, your choice. So, you know, I accepted the loss. I didn't start when I expected. That's the way it goes. But tomorrow I'm going to drive out there and get my labs run, hopefully get set back up on some estrogen. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think once I've actually got the medicine and it's had a time to kind of get to me a little bit, I'll do another one of these videos and share with you guys how it's affecting me. But kind of my preconceived expectations here are that when I do start back up, it's, you know, I'm expecting a couple weeks where I'm pretty sensitive emotionally, maybe a little less outgoing. I'm not expecting to fully pass by the time this is all over. I mean, shoot, my Adam's apple dropped. Like, it's not going anywhere. But I think just getting back on the hormones and trying to increase some of my feminine features psychologically will help. It might not be, you know, as much of a change as I want, but that's okay. Life doesn't always go the way we want, and I'm old enough now and have lived, you know, close enough to the poverty line most of my life that I can admit I'm probably never going to be able to afford the surgeries I want. And that's okay. I'm learning to love myself for who I am with the body I have, and, you know, it is rough, but I would say sometime in the last year or so, I think some of my own internalized transphobia has fallen away and allowed me to find some level of peace with the fact that I'll probably never pass. Great song, by the way. You should check it out if you were actually watching this. I know I don't look super femme. I'm just gonna own where I am gender-wise. I consider myself something like a butch lesbian and an AMAB body. You know, I'm never gonna be super femme. I don't want to be. I just kind of want to pass for a tomboy out and about, you know? Anyways, this video's gone on long enough. If you stuck with me this long, please like and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. I'd really, really appreciate it. I hope that in the future we can connect with some bonsai artists as well as some queer folks. I'd like to do an essay kind of exploring gender in trees. But that's a conversation for a different time. I'm struggling with my own gender right now. I don't have the spoons to figure out that pal's pronouns. Anyways, y'all have a good night.